Hello, something guys and gals. This is Something Guy 912. So Laci has made the complete 180 tonal shift and has accepted the mighty red-pilled dong from the anti-SJW skeptic community. Or has she? Many YouTubers popular to the skeptic community seem to think so, as the use of a buzzword commonly used by MRAs are giving them the impression that Laci has seen the cancer that is feminism and is ready to deep-throat the patriarchy lovingly. Whereas the SJW side are completely willing to throw all friendship and ties away from Laci Green as a result of her betrayal, although at least on their part are actually addressing what Laci Green has said. So Laci makes a 9-minute video in part detailing a study about transracialism, a term that I have used literally as a joke in games to excuse my use of the word nigger in it to offend people, where feminist critics whined about the nature of the study and not of the validity of the study, therefore getting dropped. This makes Laci question the efficacy and healthy nature of the feminist community, as she experienced firsthand the feminists eating each other alive, like as if that wasn't already happening in the past. This leads Laci to the conclusion that the only way to save feminism from its own self is to have a manner of self-critique or even outside critical thinking vis-a-vis talk to some anti-SJW types, the likes of Chris Reagan or Blair White, for instance. Of course, this slight change in the perspective was both well-received and doubted by many a person who watched it, I included. Laci's insistence that she was always speaking truth to power when she made such egregious claims like everyone and everything is problematic, or that people commenting on her cleavage when she wears clothes that reveal her cleavage to elucidate those responses was sexist was a pretty ridiculous claim. But nevertheless, most of the responses that I see on Laci Green's video, thank you for not silencing them, was that Laci Green is doing this for money, primarily. Laci saw the wind shift away from feminist YouTubers, the likes of Anita Sarkeesian or Rebecca Watson, and is trying to make a quick dime on the anti-SJW side. First things first, you can't make money on YouTube anymore, simple as that. YouTube does not have a healthy nor consistent means to make a career out of, which is why I don't monetize any of my videos, much less care if YouTube decides to demonetize them, so that argument is pretty well sunk. And secondly, even if this is disingenuous, it doesn't erase the fact that Laci wants to do it. I would most definitely say that she is disingenuous if she didn't even follow by the pursuit of her own principles she preaches. That by not listening to anti-SJW or anti-feminist YouTubers or entertaining their points that she is contradicting her own eventual belief that a discussion needs to occur. But that's clearly not happening. While perhaps the discussions that Laci and Blair have are being passed through both parties, at least it warrants the opportunity that feminists can critique anti-feminists, and I think that's the most important thing we can take away from this video. This shift in momentum reminded me of a quote from Vernaculus, where he explained that when the big YouTube atheist versus Christian debate was going on, that the Christians began silencing their dissenters as a result of them losing the argument in order to maintain theirs. This, in fact, backfired on their asses, as the Streisand effect causes people to further question the ethics of those Christian people, making more people turn away from them simply by the action of silence rather than making a cohesive point. I could say that the pattern is showing itself again as a result of the growing political divisiveness of the left and the right. SJWs, Black Lives Matter, Third Wave Feminists, and Antifa, you name it, are in a desperate stranglehold to try to funnel out anyone and anything that doesn't already side with their own confirmations, and in their pursuit to do so, have fundamentally lost support as a result of their iron-fisted means to silence, causing memes of all things to be politicized against SJWs as a result of their callous nature to memes. This has also backfired a lot on these regressives' attempts to stow away hate speech and harmful ideas, as white supremacist groups are now more bolstered than ever as a result of the way that the regressive left have almost made it casual to hate on white straight men out of principle. So if Laci wanting to give the floor to people she otherwise wouldn't care about, as well as actually looking at the comments that are written to her rather than shrug it off, but not to be so dogmatic as to silence it, this will no doubt start a web of people demanding the same out of other SJWs, such as with Steve Shives or Cat Black, for instance. And I think they know it, which is why they are so offended that Laci would want dialogue. They know their arguments are garbage, and how they argue them are petty, and if they had to step 1 foot out of the echo chamber they built for themselves, they would actually have to address the validity and structural well-being of their echo chamber, and perhaps destroy it in favor of better arguments. While I am against feminism and SJW-ness wholesale, I would also add that in allowing people to discuss these things, SJWs and feminists, will in some way wipe the bad taste that most people get from hearing those two terms, as people will acclimate themselves and attempt to entertain the idea that white people are the cause of everything, instead of dismissing it outright because of the behavior of many in SJW. You might, in fact, find more people identifying as feminists because the term has not been smeared in shit by their actions from the past. And then we get to the point where we have to address Laci's past. While Laci has no doubt done some bad things before, doxing and gaslighting certain people for her own movement, I don't think at this point and this far into her career will Laci ever apologize for anything, but I'm sure that if she does continue this behavior, we should be willing to forgive her for it to the point that she might make an apology on behalf of said person. That isn't to say we should forget what she has done, because she will no doubt do it again if the kitchen gets too hot for her to cook arguments up. What I'm trying to say in regards to all of this is that even with her questioning the motives of feminism, she might still be the same Laci Green we all know and loathe from before. Laci hasn't completely dismissed feminism as a whole, and she hasn't converted to the Church of Skepticism. She merely won't make the immediate claim that there are misogynists on her board when she happens to come across Sargon of Akkad along the way. Keep your skepticism, trademark, high, and take it with a grain of salt. I say take her attempt to have discussion as genuine, and if it comes to that, this was all an act to desperately preserve feminism, well, you know where I'll be, cooking up a script to light a fire in her bosom. See you next time.